The following content has been provided by RWTH Aachen University.
Now let's think about, what is better? Is it analog or digital? If I have, for example, the speedometer of a car, should I show it digitally? Should I show it on an analog scale? Digital. Now we have digital here. Wait, let me just. So now we divide two chems. We have pro-digital and pro-analog. First, think about what advantages of digital do you see? So, pro-digital, yes?
First thing, it shows the exact speed that we have now at this moment. That is pro-digital, and against an analog, it always needs time to, for example, when you're trying to stop or just reduce your speed from like 100 to 66 miles per hour. You never know where the exact moment when the speed turns into the one that you want. And with the digital one, you always see that, oh, now it's 66. Stop, and I can go like this way.
Yeah, so you see the precise. Is that correctly spelled? I'm bad at this. Yes, I think so, depending on where you write this, right? So yeah, it's more precise. I can see the exact speed that I have at the moment. Any more pro-digital? No threshold. Okay. So would that mean that for analog I can't put them in faster cars because I would get to the corner or the edge of the display? Yeah. So what would we call this? Can be reused or reusable? Not range limited. But is the analog scale range limited in general? I mean, you can adjust the edges that I have, right? But yeah, I get what you mean. Dynamic. The other one is dynamic as well. I would go for reusable in quotation marks. That, well, you don't have to change a lot in that regard.
Just one more pro-digital, because it is more user-friendly. Like you do not have to spend a lot of time while looking at it and recognizing what speed they have now. And sometimes while looking at the analog ones, you cannot just figure out what exact speed you have, like 15 or 18,
yeah,
110 or 120.
Yes, so, but yeah, that goes in the same direction as the precision, right? Because you can pinpoint on the digital display, well, this is the speed that I'm having, right? Okay, let's fill that up later. Pro analog, what is? Yes.
I think it's really intuitive because if all the cars around you are really fast and I am moving fast, I don't know how fast I am actually going. And if you take that and measure the speed in miles per hour, I don't know how miles convert to kilometers exactly, so I wouldn't know. But if I see that that I'm close to max, I would know, well, I'm probably moving very fast right now.
Okay. So what you said was quite interesting with close to max, that you get from the position a sort of idea where am I in the grand scale. Yes. Range information. So that, well, you said, well, I can see this is the maximum that I can get to. How could I see that on a digital scale?
Well, you can see that by changing the colors.
By changing colors. Oh, now we get into more information on the digital scale. Yeah, that shows, well, you can adjust it to work in different ways. So there was.
I have a counter argument.
Yes.
You are basically using only slightly more than one bit of information because you are using where I'm at max or close to max or not, and where maybe you are using where I'm at half the scale. So it's basically quite a loss of space. You can see I'm for digital.
Yes, there's a Pro Digital camp. I see that. Yes. Well, you see for your car I'm at the maximum, or do I get close to the maximum? Not in relation to the others, but overall you can see well what is the maximum, for example. On a digital scale, if you would need another information to know, well, 350 kilometers per hour in my Polo is the highest I can go. But on an analog scale, you can actually see the ranges that you're having. Yes, down there.
Yeah, analog is much more sensible in regards to acceleration and deceleration. So I can, yeah, the information how fast I'm accelerating or decelerating is, yeah, I get the information better.
Yes, so it's the trend is more visible of what I'm doing. So trends. So the human is actually very good at picking up acceleration and deceleration just by feeling it. If you just have a number that is counting up at the same location, you don't get a very good feeling how fast am I accelerating, how fast am I decelerating, or how much am I braking. But on a analog scale, you can actually see this movement a little bit better. Yes.
Well, I think that only problem with the analog scale is that each manufacturer can decide how to scale it. You know, for example, in one car, 100 kilometers per hour is exactly up. In the other, it's 120 that's exactly up. And if I'm used to something, I don't even read the numbers. I just know where the position of the arm is.
Yes.
So it may trick me to go faster.
Yes, that is.
That's Pro Digital, I guess. There is just one number.
Where you have it in one place, that would go for the reusable argument. Well, I'm not having different scales, different ranges. But yeah, if you have it just in one car, then as you said, you get used to it, because actually something that is Pro Digital, it's not only more precise, but it's also easier to get to the exact speed that I'm having. Because if I just have this analog scale, it will take me some time to figure out, am I 50 or 51? That takes longer than just reading the number that I'm having in front of me. Yes?
But the speed isn't that exact for the speedometer. So what the motor tells you that you are running is not exact to the exact kmh, so miles per hour. So you have there a difference of 5 miles per hour or something.
Yeah, you mean on the analog scale, or in general?
No, in general, what the speedometer tells you is not that exact what you actually are riding.
Yeah.
So what you measure with.
What you get really from measuring the exact speed. Yes, that is true. Yeah, I mean that is some thing that's also when you go into a radar control, they will adjust what the your speedometer might be off. But that is more in regard of the engineering aspect. So information that would get to these scales basically in both cases are the same, right?
Yeah, but the digital, it says you're riding 100 miles per hour, and then you think it says you're riding 100 miles per hour.
Oh, so it makes you think you're more precise than you actually are. Oh, that's interesting. Yes, I haven't thought about that. Yeah, that's a good point. Yes.
I think the digital one is a little bit disturbing, not disturbing, because when you change for like 1 kilometer per hour, it doesn't matter that much, but it always switching the signs. And with the analog one, you don't care about it because when it moves just the slightly bit, you don't get distracted.
Yes. So you're saying, well, it draws more attention by just switching. Yes, and that's also a point that is valid there. That small movements on the analog scale are not as big as a movement on the digital scale. So it gets into the same areas, the trends, because I'm not getting this huge change that I get from changing the whole number, going from 59 to 60, blinking there, but just a 1 degree change there. Yes?
I think maybe the analog one is consuming more space because the digital one just needs some numbers, which is probably very small.
Yes, that is also one thing that, well, you can either have as a pro argument or a con argument. But yes, the size is different. I just need a set of numbers that I need to show for the digital one, while for the analog I need a bigger scale. Correct, yes?
I want to bring another digital
Yes.
argument. In the digital case, you can automatically process the data. So, for example, if you happen to bring your car to America, you can just press a button and are miles per hour.
Yes. Yes, that definitely, well, you can change it more easily. Yeah, there it depends on, you could also argue, well, I can make this analog scale, I can also make it on a display that I can adjust the range or the information that I'm showing there as well. But yes, in general, if I have the mechanical analog scale, I can easily or more easily switch to the digital one. Okay, so let's see what we have here. So for the analog displays, what we already mentioned was, well, the quick estimates. I can just, by glancing at it, well, I know that straight up is 100. I'm very close to it, will be there. And I can see the range limits, so what is actually the maximum speed that I can go and where am I in relation to that. Yes, but the reading time really increases when I want to figure out, well, where exactly am I? So as I said, 52 or 53. Well, to get that, you would spend a lot of time looking at that, and that's something you should possibly not do while driving a car. So for the digital displays, since it's just a number that I'm showing, the reading time actually doesn't change. So I have this constant access to the speed that I'm having. So that is what recognizing is parsing the information, knowing what to do with that, basically stays constant for the time. But yeah, as we mentioned, the trends are harder to detect if I'm just seeing a number going up and down. Yes, and if I don't have any labels telling me this car can go this fast, I don't actually know where the ranges are. Yes?
But when you have a lot of experience with the analog display, and for example, if I drive with a car, with just one car, I know really where the point is at, so I don't have to remember. But it's an experience thing. I see the pointer points close to 50, and I know I'm at 2 because I drove
Yes. Yeah, that is an important point because as with everything in this class, it's not set in stone. It's not this is always the case. But when you use something for a long time, well, then you, for example, don't need labels anymore telling you what to do. You remember that stuff. You already know how to interact with it. So with increased usage of a product, you get more proficient in it, you get more faster in it, so you can get more exact reading times just because you've done that a lot of times, and you just from your acceleration, deceleration, you can know where, how fast you're going, or you can estimate it a little bit better. And very often, well, if you're driving, well, you don't need to know, am I going 53 or 54? It's more the range. Well, here's the 50 kilometers per hour limit. I need to be in that range. So, yeah, there is no definite answer here. So some of you prefer digital displays, some of you prefer analog displays, and yeah, depends on what you want to do with that. And that is something to keep in mind here as well. And actually, I think for a few humans are not that good at picking up the speed that they're going. Similar to the volume. So often people who are going on the Autobahn, cranking it up to 300, and then if they need to turn off, they go or they don't realize how fast they are going and think, well, I'm doing 60, I can safely turn around here, and they're actually going 150 or something. So a lot of accidents actually happen in that if they don't read how fast they're going, because very often this you lose touch of actually how fast you're going.
This content was provided by RWTH Aachen University.